Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Mess. So, Derek and I swear the floodgates have not only broken open, they've completely crumbled to the ground, because we now have news that there is another Nintendo Wii static recomp on the way. That is going to be Mario Kart Wii, and that is one of the games. In the comments I talked about the Kirby recomp being the first one to actually see the light of day, and for me to be able to test. And honestly, you're going to be seeing a lot more of these things a lot sooner than you would think, with all of the different associated tool sets being used out there. And that is going to be a very big deal. And the nice thing is, it's not just Mario Kart Wii, but it's also Retro Rewind, the developers of that ROM hack, which adds over like 600 or 700 tracks to Mario Kart Wii, are working on this recomp. They already have some footage out there, and they say it's going to be coming out around August. And even if they're a month late in September, I'm totally fine to get a Mario Kart Wii static recomp in the fall, so I can just sit around when the weather gets bad and play that thing with my wife, because we absolutely play every single Mario Kart game that comes out, and we always have a fun time. And just so you know, I am mixing and matching some footage from my channel of Mario Kart Wii here, because there's more than one project that basically makes these games absolutely massive, and I love that the retro fan development community out there are doing everything they can to not only keep Mario Kart Wii alive, but to make it thrive with so many new courses from games that came out after the Wii version that came out before, basically making it an all-encyclopedic version of Mario Kart in all of the best ways possible. And even though you can play this on real hardware and you can emulate it on Dolphin, having it on PC would definitely have a much bigger ease of use, because getting this set up can be a little bit difficult, and I'm sure it would have a lot of online components as well, just like Retro Rewind here does when you're using real hardware or Dolphin. And if you want to play this today, the good thing is it's available. I've talked about it on the channel, and I will leave a link to the website down below, because Retro Rewind is absolutely insane, bringing in so many new functions, so many new features, including online leaderboards. You can basically compete against other people out there, not only for time attack, but other races that they organize. Now imagine all of that going over to PC as a static recomp, where you could just basically double click an executable and sit down and play, maybe with a wheel and pedal set or any other controller you want. That is going to be absolutely insane. Now, taking a look at Patchy's Twitter here, one of the developers of Retro Rewind, they're talking about the fact that the beta is going to be out in August, so definitely expect probably some beta testing and some growing pains if this actually happens. Like I said earlier, you're going to be seeing a lot of different static recomps for Wii and GameCube games now that we have all of these different associated tool sets. And if you missed the original video on these recomps, I will leave a link in the description below as well. And this is just some demo footage of them showing off the build on YouTube, and I will leave a link to that below as well, so everyone is credited. But I can't wait to see something like this on PC, because it gives me so many ideas in my head as what could be done. And honestly, really easy net play would be the #1 thing, because I've done Retro Rewind and some of the other Mario Kart ROM hacks online against other people, and while it does work, it can be maybe not cumbersome to set up, but maybe take more time than you would like it to. And of course, if it is running on PC, it's probably going to be even easier to add new courses and new tracks in the future, because when Nintendo finally actually expands Mario Kart World, I'm sure they will bring courses like that into Mario Kart Wii. And that is definitely a very fun time, and I love that they're calling it Wii Compiled as well. And if you haven't already seen it, or maybe I haven't run it yet, I will be doing a comprehensive testing video of the Kirby Wii Recomp that I just talked about yesterday, because honestly, I am very impressed at this early stage just how well these static recomps for Wii games are running. And I think maybe the next year or so, you're probably going to see dozens upon dozens of games actually hit that recomp status, where you can just play them on your PC at the double click of a file. And don't get me wrong, Dolphin as emulation is absolutely 10 out of 10 incredible, and maybe the best emulator ever made, at least in my opinion, but having more ways to play these games is always going to be fun, and with static recomps it does allow for easier modifications to the base game than if you're actually trying to take apart the ISO and then try to make amendments from there. But it is one of those things. You leave me a comment down below and you tell me, if you could take one Wii game right now and turn it into a static recomp with better performance, a higher internal rendering resolution, and every other quality of life feature, which one would it be? And I'm going to go with one of the community votes that I've been hearing about in my comments. Mad World would be a very fun game to actually get statically recompiled. But let's take a look at the trailer so you can get a soundtrack sample as well as see the recomp footage without me talking over it. I'll come back, talk more about the process and why you're going to be seeing a lot more of these really soon, and why we're all going to be winning because of it. And they definitely ramped the intensity up there. And don't forget, all these tools we're talking about that I previously did a video on, we'll link down below, are not just for Wii, but they're also for the GameCube, because honestly, the Wii pretty much just kind of two GameCubes duct taped together in a thinner white shell. And even if it isn't as fun as the GameCube with its really fun form factor, they were extremely similar hardware bases, and that's why this static recomp tool, or the multiple static recomp tools that are going into making stuff like this, are working in conjunction across both GameCube as well as Wii. And this is definitely something the software is designed to get these games up and running and at least able to be tested within weeks, not months or even years, based upon the GitHub information. And talking to a few other developers that are working with this tool right now, I've heard nothing but good things in regards to how easy it is to at least get a game booting in and then starting to run. And just so you know, this footage right here is from ZPL's channel, one of the developers of Retro Rewind, and I will leave a link in the description below so you can see all of the different stuff that they are doing with this, because honestly, if you've never heard of Retro Rewind before, you should watch a bunch of those videos to better understand it and get hyped for it. And honestly, they only have like 10k subs, and I feel like they should have a lot more, so definitely throw a sub their way and leave a comment on a video saying VGE sent me. That way people know that my community here definitely supports other content creators out there. And if you've never played Retro Rewind before, I can't stress enough, some of the courses here are every bit as good as anything that Nintendo's ever done. They have a ton of creativity, a ton of charm, and just give you more Mario Kart, and that is definitely always a win. And I really did enjoy Mario Kart Wii when it came out. My wife and I played the ever-loving hell out of it, and I still play it maybe once a year to go through all of the new courses and see what's going on with these actual fan versions, because it isn't really a static thing. They are always upgrading, and I'm sure the upgrade path would be a lot easier on PC as a static recomp versus having to actually upgrade it on your Wii or on Dolphin, because it's one of those things, when I hear people talk about this, more often than not, it's somebody on my Discord or messaging me saying, how do you get it running? I haven't figured it out yet. And I'm 99.9% sure that entire burden of getting it running, and I don't think it's that hard, but it isn't easy mode either, would be removed if this was a static recomp. But there's so many other options out there that we could get for static recomps that would have so many benefits for being on PC. And don't forget, static recomps aren't really going to have the same issue, and I wouldn't really say it's an issue, just how it works is something like Dolphin, where you have to deal with the shader compilation at least the first time you run the game, because it's taking care of that in advance. That way when you double click the game and start playing it, it's already done, and all of that code for every associated function, the code, the video, the audio, the input, has been recompiled for you. So it definitely lowers the overhead compared to emulation, and in some instances can have a little less hitching when you're actually first playing the game. And I saw that in Kirby on Wii here. As I tested the static recomp, I really had completely smooth gameplay from start to finish, and big thanks to Andy D for helping with some captures as well. Seems like he had the exact same experience too. But you tell me again, of all the games, at least GameCube now, let's go over to that console that could be statically recompiled. Which one would you want? For me, I'm going straight to Mario Kart again. I want a Double Dash recomp, because that is one of my favorite entries in the entirety of the franchise, and I think at 4K 16:9 static recomp, it would be amazing. And the best part is, these tools are available to any developer that wants to use them out there, and even though they're just starting out their life, they're already showing that they are very robust, very easy to use if you know what you're doing, and are going to lead to static recomps quicker on the GameCube and Wii side of things. Now, I don't mean quick as in like you drag a game in and just hit a static recomp button and everything's done for you. It still takes a lot of human work, but it's one of those things. We're not talking about maybe 1 or 2 GameCube or Wii recomps here. We're probably talking about 10, 15, maybe even 20 if this all goes well. And that again is just going to be absolutely outstanding, because the floodgates are totally open, as I love to say, and now with all these tools like you see on N64 Recomp and everything else out there, it's going to allow people to sit down and start the work of recompiling games and not have to worry about the work of actually getting the tool set made first, because that usually is about as long, if not longer, than actually working on a recomp. And when those tools are available, it just means everyone's going to have an easier entry into actually recompiling these things. And at the end of the day, that means you, I, and everybody else who loves them is going to win. And honestly, there were so many comments about Mario Kart Wii in the first video I did on these Wii recomps, and now you know full well that it is in development. Hopefully in August we'll be at least testing a beta of it, and that will be amazing. And if it turns out any bit as good as the Kirby Return to Dream Land recomp I've been testing, then you're in for an absolute 10 out of 10 treat. Because don't get me wrong, modern gaming isn't 100% horrible, but there's a lot more things to dislike about it than there are to like about it right now. So we're just gonna have to go into the archives of classic Nintendo consoles, GameCube and Wii, and get some static recomps going so everyone can enjoy them. And honestly, I love the games they're getting. First, Kirby's Return to Dream Land, 10 out of 10 charming and fun. Mario Kart Wii, obviously one of the best games that Nintendo has ever made, so we are just winning on all fronts. Be sure to leave me a comment down below if you have any questions or comments, but I hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time. Bye-bye.